I met Eric through a conference. We actually met for the first time in one of the speed networking events, which I highly recommend everyone attending, organized by Jessica Joyner. Yeah. So we met there in one of those speed networking events, and then we met in person at the conference in Orlando a couple of weeks ago. And that's how this invitation was born, and that's the magic about going to conference, right? You build relationships, you learn. Um, you expand your network, and this is what BNI is all about. So let me share with all of you what my experience been like. I joined BNI in January last year, so I'm a new member. But because in my business, I own a remote staffing agency, I hire professionals in Latin America, and they work for our clients in the US and Canada. And we have a 140 people team. And out of those 140 people, 30 work directly for my company. So they run the day-to-day operation of my company, which gives me a lot of time to learn, read books, listen to the podcast, watch videos, create content, and work on the business and not in the day-to-day operation every day. So this is why I've been able to learn a lot about the MSP, going to conferences, and really dig into the BNI system and leverage all the BNI tools that BNI has created to help us grow our business, right? And create connections and relationships. And that's all what BNI is about, right? BNI wants to help us grow our business so we can stay longer as members and invite more members because we believe in this philosophy of givers gain. Um, so as a new member, I'm very humbled to be here with all of you who are leaders in your region. But as a student of the game, I want to share what I've learned and hopefully you can benefit from it. So what we'll cover today? We'll cover today building relationships beyond your local chapters because BNI is the largest global networking organization in the world. It's larger than our local chapter. And we really appreciate that when we go to conferences. That's when we really truly see the power of BNI and how deep and interconnected we are. And then identifying global opportunities hidden in BNI communication. So those BNI global newsletters, we gotta pay attention to them because they have hidden gems that once we take action on them, they can increase your visibility, credibility, and profitability. And then number three, take action, right? Default to action. We do nothing if we just learn about it. If we only focus on lifelong learning, but we don't take action, that's worthless, right? It's just shelf help. It's just to have those books on the shelf that are worthless. We need to take action on them. We need to implement. We need to turn knowledge into action. That's the key. So when I started BNI last year and I got the newsletter about the BNI National Conference last year was in Texas, I asked members of my chapter who have been in BNI for 20, 25 years, 15 years. So I belong to a chapter in Vancouver who is a 60 member chapter. So it's one of the largest chapters in Canada right now. And we have members who have been there for more than 15, 20, 25 years. And I asked them, like, hey, are you going to the conference? Have you been to a conference? None of them had, right? So imagine being in a room for 20 plus years because it's working, is obviously working for you if you stay for that long, but never have experienced going to a conference and what that means. So what they said is, no, that's usually for the executive directors and their awards. And that's part of the conference. It's part of the BNI core value of recognition, but it's so much more than that. So I went ahead and I wanted to experience it by myself, not just trust on other people's opinions who haven't been there. I wanted to experience it myself and live it and see. And if it worked, I will, go again the next year. Or if it didn't work, then I wouldn't go again. But at least I had my own opinion on the topic. The key of going to this conference is all about strategic preparation before, during, and after the event. So before the conference, we were screening the attendees and connecting with them on LinkedIn. So when we saw them in person, we were already kind of familiar with them. We had so much fun. You have your picture with the founder. You enjoy, the theme events. You meet the speakers and you get your pictures with the speakers. But also you make a lot of connections that could turn into business. So, for example, I met Brian Lobick from BNI Central Maryland. I sent him a LinkedIn connection, and he saw me across the hall in Texas last year. And then he said, hey, I saw you send me a LinkedIn invite to connect here at the conference. Why don't you join me? And we're going to have lunch with my executive director, Ann Brennan, for BNI Central Maryland, her partner, Anastasia, and other BNI members. And I said, that's wonderful. Perfect. Yeah, let's go. Let's go to this group lunch. So we went to we had lunch, and a couple of months later, and hired an executive assistant with my company who's now helping her full time and is part of her launch team, who is Miguel right here, part of her launch team. And she left this amazing 5-star Google review of her experience hiring with us. So one LinkedIn connection turned into one conversation in the hallway that then turned into one group lunch, and then that led to business. As simple as that. So you never know who you're going to meet. So it's very important to be strategic, planning in advance, connecting with people in advance, and then show up, be open to opportunities. And these are the kind of things that can happen. But then I was also sitting next to Shona at the conference. So we were just sitting next to each other, talking about each other, like what are your goals this year? What are my goals this year? And then she said, one of my goals this year is just to promote my cleaning company's social media. So I said, hey, I do this. I hire professionals in Latin America. Many of them are social media managers or marketing specialists. Would you like to learn more about it? Yeah, she said yes. We set up a call, and then she hired someone with us. And she left this amazing 5-star Google review with us as well, just by sitting next to each other. So I didn't connect with her on LinkedIn. I didn't have lunch with her, like planned in advance. Just we sat next to each other during one of the presentations, and just magic happened out of a simple conversation. Why? Because everyone at those conferences are speaking one language, which is the givers gain language. So everyone is looking for ways to help one another, and this is how real conversations can turn into real business, right? From going to this conference. This was last year. So I was an attendee, regular attendee ticket last year. Including the conference ticket, the hotels, the flights. I live in Vancouver, so Vancouver to Houston, the meals, everything. We invested around $2,000. And so far, we've made $16,000. With Anne Brennan's case, which is the ABM network, she's an ongoing service, right? So every month that will increase my revenue. So it's basically like 10x your investment from going to a conference. And then at the same time, you learn so much. So this is Spencer. This is the speaker for this topic, your AI board of advisors. And I learned that you can create custom GPTs using ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you use, and upload all your author's information. So for example, in our case, will be Canadian author Dan Martel, the author of Buy Back Your Time that I have on the back, the EOS series, Traction, Jim Collins books, all the Dr. Ivan Meisner's books, Simon Sinek books, Jim Collins books, Stephen Covey, like all the books that you use to run your business, upload them into a custom GPT that you call your AI board of advisors. And every time you have a difficult question, you have a problem, you don't know like how to address a situation, upload the problem into your preloaded AI board of advisors, and it will give you the response from all of these authors, from all of these amazing people that you have curated for you because they have a relevance to your specific business, and they will be your board of advisors. So how amazing is that? And he explained how to set it up. We took action immediately, and now we have our own AI board of advisors. Actually, we have multiple AI board of advisors. We have one business board of advisors, one networking board of advisors, and then it's been super useful in our leadership team meetings. When we don't know what to do, just let's run it by our AI board of advisors. And I would have learned that if I hadn't gone to the conference, right, last year. And then I had the pleasure of taking a picture with Spencer, right, for the memories as a souvenir. But then you also learn from the founder. This book that he wrote last year, or he was promoting last year, The Infinite Legacy, and just put in the chat, what do you think people will say in your obituary? Like, what will people will say when you die? What do you think they will say? And he was talking about building an intentional legacy. And the book starts with the story of the inventor of dynamite and how he was portrayed as a merchant of death. And he realized that he didn't want to die and pass along that legacy as the merchant of death. He was a multi-millionaire, and then he donated all of his fortune to the Nobel organization, and he is Alfred Nobel, the inventor of dynamite, but also the inventor of the Nobel Awards, right? And he donated all of his fortune to science and literature and to what the Nobel Prize does, right? So he wanted to change his obituary, he wanted to change his legacy and build it intentionally. So Dr. Ivan Misner was saying, our calendar is a reflection of our why. What we put in our calendar reflects what we care about. What the legacy that we're trying to build, we're building it every single day. How we show up for one another, how we help one another, how we want to be remembered. So these are very inspiring topics that you learn by attending conferences. And of course, you get your book signed by the founder, which is not bad, right? You have your book signed by the founder now in your library. This is Mary Kay-Thompson, BNI's current global CEO, and she had a great presentation about the meaning of being all in. And she said we should have an honest conversation with ourselves and with our team, define clear expectations, and help them identify what all in means, and coach them, mentor them, and if they don't get it, we should help them transition to be all out. So if someone in your team doesn't want to be 100% all in, it's our job as the leader of our business to help them transition, be all out. So that was very encouraging. Then we created content about the BNI conference last year and all that we learned and all the connections we built. And this is the YouTube video that we invited you to watch and kind of a summary of the last year's conference. So because it worked so well for us last year in terms of connection, lifelong learning, implementation of what we learned, and business, we made business. We are 10x our investment on last year's conference. We doubled down this year. So this year we decided to go as sponsors, not just as the regular attendees. So we pay for the booth, the sponsorship, just to have this platform to connect with more than 600 attendees, potential referral partners at the conference this year in Orlando. You get your photo with the founder at your booth, which is always cool for the books. I had the pleasure of wearing the Canadian flag during the conference, which such an honor for me as a newcomer to Canada. We moved to Canada in January last year, but we moved as permanent residents. So it took me 2 years to learn French when I was living in Colombia to come here as permanent resident. And it's all about the vetting process, which I like a lot because we apply the same in our company. It's all about the vetting process of who you're letting in. Same in our chapters, right? It's all about the vetting. So I'm very happy and satisfied that my family of 4 kids and I were able to come here as permanent residents thanks to this amazing vetting process that Canada has. So I had the opportunity to wear the Canadian flag. That also helps with visibility, right? It helps you with that, building that network. And then I was also invited to a VIP lunch with the founder. So you have these intimate rooms happening at the conference that I had no idea that existed last year. But this year, because of all the things that we have worked on in terms of visibility and created content about our BNI experience, we got the invitation. And you are part of these intimate settings where you can share more experiences with BNI global leaders. And at the same time, we know it's also an opportunity for recognition. So this is the executive director of my region in BC. Our region won all the major kind of BNI awards, and he won the executive director award. So it was cool just to be there with him. That picture was shared in our BNI BC newsletter. So it helps you with visibility in that way too, with your local members. So you're building visibility and credibility, not just with the attendees of the conference, but also in your local members in your region, because these pictures get distributed in our newsletters. Then we had the opportunity to go to a mega chapter meeting of more than 100 members. You get to connect with so many members there. And if you're going to these mega chapter meetings and they have a dynamic, be sure to be prepared. So Eric and I were chosen for a contest of how many asks we remember from the members who did their 20-second presentation. But both of us were just seeing how the dynamic work, how the strategy work, because we want to do mega chapter meetings in our regions. And at the beginning, I was writing down all the members' asks. But then it's so fast paced and you get like 100 members presenting that you just lose track and it's just so overwhelming. But we were chosen by just pure luck and we did a terrible job, right? Remembering the members asks. So if you're going to a mega chapter meeting, please pay attention to the dynamic they have because you might be chosen and you don't want to be so embarrassed as I was doing such a bad job remembering the members asks because we weren't fully engaged and taking notes in the moment, right? We were paying attention to the dynamic and to how they set it up. So just kind of sharing my experience there of how I I messed that up. Yeah, and then creating content, right? It's so important just to create content of your experience because BNI will also promote that content and then you get more visibility because of it too. So, this is our booth. People show up in our booth and taking pictures with them. Uh, this year's presentation, this is one of the ones that I like the most, is about building your personal brand. This was delivered by Heather, BNI's Chief Marketing Officer, BNI Global Chief Marketing Officer, and she talked about building your personal brand and the importance of repetition, the importance of defining your message, the importance about defining your audience. And what stood out for me about this presentation is that she's BNI's Chief Marketing Officer, right? So if she's talking about this, it sends you the message that BNI is going to promote this because she's the leader of marketing for BNI Global. So what does that tell me? It tells me that if we put our effort in creating content about how BNI has helped us accelerate our business, grow our business, build connections, lifelong learning, like how has helped us grow our business, BNI is going to promote that. Why? Because BNI CMO is talking about building your personal brand to BNI members in a BNI conference. So if we're reading between lines, it's kind of an invitation to build our personal brands and share about BNI success stories, and they will promote that, right? So that's exactly what we're doing. And if you follow me on social media, you'll see a lot of content BNI related because it's also genuine. Like we have grown our business thanks to BNI. Out of those 140 positions that we have in Latin America, 15 of them have been thanks to BNI. So thanks to BNI members and their referrals, 15 people in Latin America have now life-changing jobs, amazing jobs, thanks to these opportunities that the global network offers. This was my other favorite presentation from Kip. He's the executive director in Utah, and he talked about the difference between sailing and scaling, and how you can sail your business, sail, and you can build a business to fuel your lifestyle and to pay for your expenses, or how you can scale your business. And to scale your business, you need a team. You need to build something that is beyond yourself. You need to build a business that doesn't depend on you to run the day-to-day operation. You need to board the ships and go ahead and be like set up goals that are so bold and timelines that are so challenging that you have no other excuse than going all in and go for that 10 and scale your business that way. But he also said that business who die are the ones in the middle. The ones that don't choose between sailing or scaling, those are the ones who are going to die. So it's good if you are sailing or you're scaling, but you need to pick a side because if you're in the middle, you're going to die. And that's an amazing presentation too. And he gave away a book about the science of scaling to all attendees, which I think it was extremely generous. And it's all about lifelong learning. That's the book. That's the book right there. So it's amazing, an amazing opportunity to learn from these great speakers. And then Dr. Ivan Misner talk about his AI chatbot and how you can ask him and talk to Ivan, right, with all his knowledge base. But one important topic about that specific presentation that you can see there right there, his AI chatbot has 3 hands. So it talks also about the importance of we, the humans, as directors, curating the AI content because AI hallucinates. AI is loved, and we have all heard about it. So it's super important just to be mindful about that. Yeah, and we are already getting results. So this member, his member is from Quebec. Just today, already signed up the contract to hire someone with us. Um, so yeah, it's been great. But it's not just about getting. We know BNI is also about giving. So these two people here, the lady with the red jacket with the red sweater and the one next to me at the sofa, they are the executive directors for BNI Oregon. Anna has an amazing BNI story. She was adopted by an American family when she was a baby. And thanks to the BNI Global Network and going to BNI conferences, she was able to reconnect with her biological family in Romania. And then, because she doesn't speak the local language and they don't speak English either, she used the services of a member in her region who, created this device that translates immediately what the other person is saying at the moment in another language. So she used a BNI member to communicate with her biological family, and she used the BNI network to find them. And she was featured on the BNI podcast too with Dr. Ivan Misner. And then her husband John, he has sponsored 53 BNI members, and he shared his strategy of doing so and how he spends 15 minutes every single day reviewing his contact list and just picking up the phone and calling people to invite them to his BNI group. So they were at the conference and they were going to Vancouver to take the cruise to Alaska, and I invited them to my chapter. So they came to my chapter. They gave us all these golden nuggets to some of the leaders of my chapter on how to have the success they have had in Oregon. And it's all about building relationships. And they like our region's name tags because they are all engraved. It's a cool design. It's not kind of the regular design that most BNI members have. It's a really cool design that we have in our name tags. Let me see if I have it over here. And Pedro, this guy over here, is the one who prints them in our region. So I connected to them, and now that can turn into business for Pedro and into better name tags for Anna and John and the members of her region in Oregon. So it's not just about business, it's also about being the master connector, right? And connecting people that we meet. So yeah, this mission for us was to have this platform in front of 600 people in the room that attended the conference. We invested this year 10,400 something US dollars, right? So it's a larger investment compared to the 2,000 that we invested last year. But this included everything. Like this included the booth, it included the TV, everything that we spent, all the flyers, the flights, the hotel, even included an Epic Universe ticket that I went there with my coworker who worked so hard during the conference just to decompress and relax after the day of the conference. So those 10,400 US includes absolutely everything during that week. And yeah, we're confident we're going to make multiple times that investment in business. So number two, follow BNI channels, follow their social media, read their newsletters. Every message has an opportunity. If you see something, just go for it. Try it. If it doesn't work, don't do it again. If it does work, double down. But if you don't try them, you will never know. And you will never know until you live your own experiences, right? Don't trust other people's opinions. Like, don't trust me. I'm trying to show you data and evidence of how it worked for me, but don't just trust my word. You have to try it for yourself and live your own experience, right? That's what life is about. So last year, I read in that newsletter about the BNI Global Video Contest. It has zero cost. You don't need to pay for anything to participate in that BNI Global Video Contest. And as you can see, like in the video at the beginning, we did it very low cost. Yeah, I'm recording that with a webcam, no microphone, no professional videographer, nothing. Just a story to share how BNI helped us go beyond. So it was super cheap. We didn't spend anything, and we won top 10. And then we made it to the top 3. And that has given us so much visibility all over the world. And yeah, so we won top 3. We've been featured on BNI Global newsletters and BNI BC newsletters, and we've got connections, referrals, and many people I met in Orlando in person. We were already connecting online because of these BNI newsletters, and they reach out to me because of it, right? So it gives you massive visibility. You are featured on BNI Global newsletters, as you can see here, right? BNI Global newsletter features your video and talks about you and your story. You're also featured on Dr. Ivan Meisner's personal social media, as you can see here on the video on the left. So that's his personal social media channels featuring my video because I was one of the winners, right? Something that costs nothing. It's already included in what we pay for membership. I didn't hire a videographer. I filmed it with my webcam, no microphone, no professional lighting. So we spent, it was very low cost. And even though we won, right? So it's all about your story. Share what you have learned. Share how BNI has helped you in this year's theme, accelerate your business, and you might win. So what I want to share with this is that this was the road test for me. I proved to my BNI members, I have been there in the chapter for 20, 25 years, that this is possible. It is possible to win. It is possible to be featured. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get it. So my dream with this is to see at least 5 Canadian members in the top 10 this year. 5 Canadian members in the top 10 for the BNI Global Video Contest. Because as a new BNI member and Canadian member, I proved that it's possible to win top 3. So now I want to see more Canadian members submitting their video application. The deadline for this year expires on June 30th. So we still have 1 month and a half, June 30th, to submit your application. 3-minute video on how BNI has helped you accelerate your business. And you can see all of these contests on BNI Global newsletters. It gives you massive visibility and is already included in what we pay for membership. My video was shown in Sydney. This is Sydney, in front of hundreds of attendees from all over the world in the BNI Global Conference. And you get this massive visibility for free. Just so my invitation here, just try it out. Try it out. If you don't get it, you learn from it. But if you do get it, you get massive visibility to grow your business. So Ann Brennan, the executive director of Central Maryland that I was talking to you about, she was the one who sent me that video. She was at the conference, she recorded it, and she sent it to me. And then she was also singing our praises right there in Sydney. So she sent me referrals from people who saw our video, who asked her, and she said, yeah, we know them, we work with them. And she sent a referral our way. And then, as I mentioned, we were featured, because after we won the contest, we were featured on the BNI Global newsletters 3 times. We were featured on the BNI BC newsletter twice. So you get a lot of visibility in your local network too, if you win these global contests for something that, as I mentioned, is free. We're already paying for it in our membership dues. And because I won last year, I won a ticket to go to Monaco in October this year. So I don't have to pay for my ticket to go to Monaco. It was part of the prizes of winning last year's video contest. And you can do it too. And next year will be in Panama. So it will be even closer for us. And yeah, you could get a ticket to Monaco, you could get your ticket to Panama if you make it to the top 3, but you get massive visibility, credibility, and connections worldwide. And also you get featured in your BNI regional chapters, in your regions, and you get a lot of connections locally and a lot of visibility locally for that as well. So number 3, as I mentioned, is just about attention and taking action. That leads to visibility, referrals, and revenue. So if you want to take action, this will be my roadmap. Enter the BNI Global Contest. Pay attention to the BNI messages. Number 2, attend national conferences. Last year, I went as a member, $2,000, made 16,000 and counting. So it's absolutely a worthwhile investment. I learned a lot. I got my picture with the founder, the book signed by the founder. Like, it was amazing. And, lifelong relationships. Scale to global stages, especially if you can serve clients outside of your region. Nurture your connections. So last year, I met Jessica Joyner, I met Karen. They are managing directors in BNI Canada, and we stayed in touch on LinkedIn, supporting each other's posts. Jessica reposted one of my posts, and someone in her region saw it, and now he's one of our clients. And this relationship happened because you nurture their connections. It's not like one and done and that's it. And the reason why I'm here with all of you guys is because the connection that I've been nurturing with Eric. So this is how it works, right? And then create content sharing your BNI experience. Why? Because BNI, as you saw from BNI's Chief Marketing Officer, is going to promote personal brands. And if we share our honest BNI experience in our personal social media, in our building our personal brand, they will pick that up and they will promote it. And because of that, I was chosen to bear the Canadian flag as a new BNI member, as a newcomer to Canada. among so many other members, more seasoned and experienced than I am. But why I was chosen? Because of the content that I've been putting out there, sharing my BNI experience. That's what helped me gain more visibility. That was it, right? So I earned the seat and I earned the honor of bearing the Canadian flag uh, without even being Canadian, right? I'm a permanent resident, but there were other Canadians in the room. So why was that? Just the visibility, guys. Just share your stories online, share your experience online, and you will get more things that you can think of. I was invited to the VIP launch with the founder because of the same reason, right? So you enter rooms you didn't even know they existed just by sharing your experience online. And yeah, this is a gift for all of you. We shared with Eric as well. We created a BNI growth toolkit. Here, you will see videos on how to complete your BNI Connect profile to 100%, step-by-step guide on how to complete it to 100%, because we've got referrals and business from people who are looking for virtual assistants. Our profile show up, and because it was more completed than others, more professional, we got the business, right? We've delivered presentations on this topic to help BNI members complete their BNI profile. We have here templates on how you can turn your gains profile for your BNI one-to-ones into a marketing piece, and how you can design it as a marketing piece and not just as a boring template with plain text. So we share this Canva templates for you to edit them and leverage that opportunity to meet with another BNI member and exchange your BNI profile as a marketing tool, and many other tools that you have here, all BNI related. All the things that we have created, we share them with all of you for free. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Wow, Randy, thank you so much. And my goal is always to try to run these calls to add value to the members and the leadership support teams. And I think you did an amazing job sharing your story and highlighting those benefits, the gain and the give side. And I highly recommend anybody in this room book a call, have the one-to-one with someone who's lived that experience of getting kind of outside of our comfort zones and living your own experiences and making your own decisions. So, Randy, thank you again. I am just going to highlight one question because I think you know the answer. Trudy asked, how do you got the time to do all this stuff?
Yeah, it's because I have my team run the day-to-day operation of the company, right? It's all about replacing yourself. When your business doesn't depend on you to run, you can be truly free, right? Instead of, having a job, you're running a business because it doesn't depend on you. So I have a 30 people team. They take care of all the admin, all the sales, the recruitment, the onboarding, the clients onboarding, the VAs onboarding, and I have a management team, I have a leadership team, and that's how I find time to work on what really matters, on what really moves the needle of what any of my employees will do better than I do, which is learning, building connections, networking, being out there. And I can do it having 4 kids at home, right? So the key is delegation. The key is delegation. And I know you think of, oh man, 30 people working for your company, that is very expensive. Yeah, it will be very expensive in Canada. So if I will hire them in Canada, probably I could hire 5 of them. But for the same cost, I can hire 30 of them in Latin America. Why? Because cost of living is cheaper there. You can get an apartment, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, 130 square meters in Venezuela for 20,000 US dollars. So our people down there get to afford real estate faster than professionals up here. It's just because economies work differently. If you have traveled to South America, you know what I'm talking about. The dollar power takes you just so much further down there. So it's a great deal for them. They get above market rates. They get great salaries, great job opportunities. But for business owners in North America, we save thousands on payroll.
And thank you. And I've heard a lot of people say, especially when they can delegate that type of work, outside of Canada, it also frees up our money to hire the specialists and the people that we might only have available in Canada. So the
Exactly.
people you really have to prioritize who are
Mm-hmm.
going to cost that, you're mindful of the spend. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
One last question here, Colleen, very briefly, because I do want to make sure we have 15 minutes at the end here to go over some regional stuff.
I quickly wanted to ask, because I know they set this at each conference, what is the date and the location of the Canada and national and US conference next year?
That's a great question. Thank you for your interest. It will be in Phoenix. It will be, I think, May 12th, Eric.
I actually have that slide, so maybe I'll take the share screen back
Okay,
here for a second, and I will
Mm-hmm.
pop that on the screen. But I do have that
Mm-hmm.
information here today, Colleen.
great, thanks.
And hope to see you there.
And well, I have been to many national and international conferences, and I love them. The connections you make, the
Mm-hmm.
people you get to know, the information you get to share with each other. It's
Mm-hmm.
like BNI on steroids.
It's exactly like that.
It's
That's the
lovely.
best definition.
It's absolutely wonderful. Mervat, you can attest to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially for and even the people who can't do cross border. At the end of the day, I found a lot of referrals, the giver side, to members who are suppliers in Canada. There's a lot of people in the States looking to get into Canada, sell product, move product, and they
Mm-hmm.
need those connections in Canada to help them
Mm-hmm.
move their business. So don't think you're limited just because you don't sell down there. Someone
Mm-hmm.
there is looking for you in our area to bring their business to Canada, and we can be those facilitators. So
Mm-hmm.
Randy, I can't say thank you enough. It was an absolute pleasure meeting with you, networking with you. You did a great job representing Canada at a high level. So, just quickly, I'd like everyone in the room, round of applause, some reactions there to show thanks to Randy. So, thank you, Randy. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing. Thank you. And looking
Okay.
forward to connecting with all of you.
Yeah.